So we're going to start this off by opening the bag. Dump that into your bowl. Get all the good ingredients out. You have water, 1.5 cups of water. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. Mix that in first. Okay, I like to do that first just to get all the ingredients start to dissolve. And then we'll add our canola oil and our vanilla. Now I like to put the canola oil in a little squirt bottle because it's like a trick of the trade. If you're working in the kitchen, you're doing a lot of sauteing, or you need it for anything, you have it in a little squirt bottle, and it's easy to portion out because you don't have this big container like you buy the big save yourself money container that's got like a gallon in it. It's hard to pour out. So by putting it in a squirt bottle, it's easier, and you can easily measure that into your tablespoon, see, without spilling it all over the place. So I need 4 tablespoons. There's 1. And it's fast. 2. 3, and 4. And you could have one for olive oil or canola oil, whatever oils that you want. Okay. And now vanilla extract, and you have to actually look for pure vanilla extract. Well, some say pure vanilla extract, but they have corn syrup in it. So make sure you look carefully, read the ingredient statements, which I'm sure you do every day when you're shopping, just to make sure there's not an allergen in it that you'll have a problem with. So we're going to measure that out, 2 teaspoons. And that's optional. If you don't want to put any vanilla, that's fine. You don't have to put vanilla in it. It just gives it a little bit more flavor. I'm going to mix that in next. And see how I use my little measuring cup here to put my whip in it so it doesn't get the counter dirty or your table. So mix that in, and I can always see that it's dissolved. I can feel that the sugar's dissolved. It's a very runny batter, as you'll be able to see here. See, it's a runny batter, but don't worry about that. It'll bake up really, really nice. So I have a 1/3 cup measuring cup. Now that's the main thing, is when you're measuring out any product, use some type of measuring tool, because that will give you a consistent sized product, such as a muffin, or if you're doing 3 or 4 cakes and you have one big batter, use a portion scoop, or even doing pancakes. So this does not need muffin cups. So if you want to use them, you can, but I found out that it does not release from the cup unless you store it overnight. So if you want to use these, you can't eat them right away. You have to let them sit overnight in a sealed container. Then the wrapper comes off the outside. So, but I'll show you what you can do afterwards if you want to use a cup, if your kid wants to have a cup. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to measure this out. Here's the 1/3 cup, right over the center. Pour 1 in. And you can just repeat that. It's very simple, and it's fast. And what you'll find out is you will have the same amount in each one. And you see there's a lot less mess, because I'm pouring it right over the cup. Doing my best to have less mess. Now you probably have read other recipes that state, well, go ahead and mix the blueberries or whatever the food that you're adding to this if you are doing a different type of muffin. So I'm getting running out a little bit here, so what I'm going to do is pour a little bit here. Just getting almost enough for the last one, but I can take care of that. Taking my rubber spatula and scraping the pan, and I get a little bit more out of there. So I'm going to be a little short on this one. If you want to rectify that, you can go and take a little bit out of one of the other ones, but that's okay. So, as I was saying about the fruits in there, So what I'm going to do is, these are frozen blueberries, you can use fresh. I like to actually just drop them in. Because what I found out is when you're using this, if you mix the blueberries in there ahead of time, one, you don't get the same amount of blueberries in each one because you're trying to scoop them out and it's hard to divide them. And the blueberries tend to completely sink to the bottom. So by putting them on the top, they'll slowly sink. As it bakes, it will start forming structure. The blueberries won't completely sink to the bottom. So you can put about 5 to 7, depending on how big the blueberries are and how many you have in your cup, because it was a cup of blueberries. We'll just go through this. Shouldn't take too long. But you can see them all on top. Some of them start sinking. No big deal. But you get them sort of divided up here. This is gonna look pretty cool with a short one here, a little stout one. Got a few blueberries left. Find the ones that look like they need a few more. And I have my blueberries in there. I'm going to go over and put it in my oven. I set my oven, it's a regular conventional oven, so 375. So it bakes a little bit, the extra heat makes them bake up really nice. We'll slide them in here. Set my timer. I'm going to start with the least amount of time, which is 27 minutes. Start. And I do leave the light on so that I can take a look at them, and if your kids are just anxious to look at them, they can peek in there without opening the door. Because you don't want to open the door, you don't want to lose any of that heat, because that will actually not allow the muffins to bake up evenly. So, we can come back in 30 minutes. 27 minutes you'll check, and if you have a toothpick, poke that in there. If it comes out clean, it's ready to go. And when they come out, they're going to look awesome.